Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Installment of Scott Selections here for Monday, January 15th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. Nothing to recap, give it a look at play for the Monday night game between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. So if you want extra NFL play, check out the episode before this one. But for this episode, going to go back to the NFL, going to look at the game that got moved from Sunday to Monday. Going to look at the game between the Steelers and the Bills, taking place at around 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this game, to go with the under 38.5 points and minus 110 on DraftKings. Time recording of 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Covering why we're going to take the under in this game. First reason and the main reason, the weather in Buffalo should be really bad. That's the reason why the game got moved from Sunday to Monday. It was basically a weather emergency in Buffalo on Sunday, and they decided that the weather wasn't good enough to play in. The weather should be better than Sunday, but still not good at all. To go through the weather, 17 degrees with a wind chill of -2, 16-mile-per-hour winds with 29-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That might actually increase to 30-plus miles per hour mid-game, and potential snow. So not many pass plays are expected, or at least successful pass plays downfield, because the wind is going to wreak havoc on that. So you might see a lot of handoffs, and as a result, a lot of draining clock. Now, both teams are pretty good at running the ball. The Bills rank 7th in the league in rushing yards per game. Having Josh Allen helps, and the Steelers rank 11th. So you might see a lot of handoffs. Once again, a lot of potentially long drives, and that's going to result in less possessions and also less points throughout the game. But to go through the time possession, since I just mentioned it, the Bills have been very good at actually draining a lot of clock this season, as the Bills rank 4th in the league in time possession, while in the last 3 games, the Steelers rank 4th in the league in time possession. So Pittsburgh recently kind of reinvented the offense a bit with Rudolph at quarterback. They've relied heavily on the ground game with Harris and with Warren, which has worked out as they're in the playoffs. But I might see a pretty similar game plan from Pittsburgh here, where they're going to try to avoid putting Rudolph in really dangerous spots with the wind. We know Rudolph's not very good, and I do think they're going to try to lead on the ground game, which should drain a lot of clock. Plus, the Bills, with Allen's turnover issues, might also lean on the ground game. I still think Allen's going to throw it, but I wonder how successful he's going to be. Maybe you'll see a lot of short passes, but with 29-mile-per-hour wind gusts, I don't exactly expect many deep shots from either quarterback in this game. But to go through the actual turnover issue, which I mentioned a second ago for Buffalo, they're averaging 1.6 turnovers per game, which is tied for the 7th most in the league. We know Allen is the main culprit of that, and I do think, once again, with his turnover issues, you might see a more conservative game plan for Buffalo in this game. Or maybe you'll see what happened last week, which is a couple of long drives being wasted by dumb turnovers in plus territory. The Bills' offense last week in Miami in a must-win game against a very injured defense, by the way, recorded 473 yards. Now, you hear that many yards and you assume, well, they probably scored 28 points, maybe 30-plus points. They only scored 14. Now, they won the game anyway because they were fortunate and got a punt return touchdown. But the point is, they had a lot of really long drives and a lot of drives that did not end in any points. And I do think that's always concerning when you're expecting the Bills to score a lot of points. It's the mistakes that they make. And I do think with the bad weather, kicking might be an issue. You might see some extra conservative play calling on 4th down. We know Tomlin is very conservative anyway, and he doesn't exactly need an excuse to punt the ball on 4th down. But you're going to see the Steelers try to punt a lot, play field position, and the Bills tend to be more aggressive. But with the bad weather, I do wonder if McDermott will be extra conservative because they have Rudolph on the other end in the snow. So you might see, once again, a lot of punts in this game, a lot of running clock with handoffs, and not many big plays. But 38.5 points for a game played in this bad weather feels like a very high number. I see it landing somewhere in the high 20s, low 30s. If I had to guess a score, probably 20-10, give or take, 23-10, somewhere around there. But there's a couple ways to get there. Either both teams do nothing offensively, like I think it might happen. The Bills have a good game, and the Steelers do not, kind of like the Chiefs game against the Dolphins earlier this weekend, where one team shows up, the other team does nothing, and you end up seeing this game go under. There's no guarantee that Rudolph's going to score more than 10 points in this game, which definitely benefits the under. But simply put, this total's too high based on the circumstances, and as a result, I am going to go with the under. So, then once again, here for Monday, January 15th, is going to be on the under 30.5 points in the Steelers and Bills game at minus 110 on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.